What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Aoshi here. This time we're actually checking out a video courtesy of PhenexGundamMk2. He's in a 600 cost Hyaku Shiki in 650. I'm told this is pre-buff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off really quick and check out what he has to do. So, of course, we are rocking, I think we are rocking stock colors. This is a while back, I'm told, so much has changed as of 2 years ago in GBO2.
Begin the mission.
Oh, never mind. It's not. It's purple. That's cool. And this is Resource Satellite. It's 4v4. I'm assuming this is simple battle. Yeah, this is simple battles.
Find your allies.
So we got a 650 Jaeger, a level 2 Zeta, and the 650 full armored Gundam Thunderbolt. So it looks like with simple battle, you pretty much have to stick together. Going after this Zeong like it's nothing. Nice combo, very clean, very clean. Luckily, his team's sticking pretty close because it is very easy to get separated, especially in a 4v4 format. But very quick to get that numbers advantage there. That Zeta's about to go, though, unfortunately. Definitely doing his best to stay alive, and the Hama just got caught. Fortunately, he wasn't able to get a full combo on there, but damage is damage. That's the thing. The main thing is to kill. And there we go. 3v2. The Zeong's back, though. Very, very dominant play. Good pressure and backup with the Jaeger. Jaeger's definitely putting pressure on that Zeong there. And reaping the benefits of that type advantage there. And that's the thing, too, is it's like if you're running a team full of supports and raids, the raids are going to be that front line, especially with that MA playing to that advantage there. And the thing, too, is like I don't like space at times, but this is very clear that Phoenix is very, very accustomed to space, or it feels like he's accustomed. Although, you know, this is 2 years ago, so I'm pretty sure he plays a lot differently than he does back then in this video here. And this is also, since this is pre-buff, the Vulcans don't have the lovely, lovely build stun that we're used to seeing now. So, it does help. It definitely is still useful, but just not as effective as we're used to now.
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile.
Alright, so 4 minutes in, his team's pretty dominant. Although with 3 Zeongs, they do have to kind of watch out. But I think one thing to remember, even pre-buff Hyaku Shiki has a majority in defensive postures versus beam weaponry. I know it's a play of words there, as he's just swiping. So that's the only thing with suits like the Zeong there. But you can still get that build stun to work. So it is very surprising to see the enemy team not being able to mount some sort of defense. Man. So they had 2 Zeongs, a Dryson. I don't know what the last suit was. Oh no, it was a Hama. But still.
No need to worry yet.
Has not died yet. Well, I'm probably gonna jinx this, but yeah, a lot of issues back then. A lot of people still to this day probably do not understand the mechanics of MA, but at the same time, like, I do this too. With MA, a lot of times people don't want to stay in boost, but it's just getting used to that movement, getting used to sort of just moving around in space and keeping it up, especially when you have the enemy like right in front of you and you don't want to get like caught out in the open. So it's just one of those things that people have to practice. Hama's definitely in trouble there as a full combo goes. I would say pretty much doing a neutral to downswing is enough to like really just be effective. Now, if you do have the time to spare, you can get that third swing in, but typically neutral downswing is usually the easiest to get go, especially if you're in the middle of a, you know, getting disadvantaged as far as disadvantaged posture positioning. You guys know what I'm trying to get at. Clearly, oh, there we go. Dryson's starting to put up a fight a little bit now. And that's the thing too, is Dryson has tools to kind of deal with raids. It's just, unfortunately, if you're not used to the space movement, it is gonna throw you off quite a bit. With the build stun and, you know, things that kind of allow you to keep things at bay. Yeah, the Dryson just has to tag Phoenix just to even just stop him, but yeah, it's unfortunate. There we go. Neutral downswing, temporarily run away, give his team time to regroup and catch up, and then he can get help. So the reason why I say neutral downswing is the easiest one to go with is it prevents them from trying to roll out of the way, or you can just go straight with the downswing on that. But it's kind of circumstantial. It's easy for me to say watching this that this is how I would do it, but you know, we're kind of dealing with a lot of the fights on the spot, and sometimes we try to do things just from muscle memory. So that's probably what I'm seeing, but in reality, downswinging is usually the easiest way to do it if you're trying to control the pace of battle. But we clearly see a major domination from Phoenix here, his team pulling through. And we're looking at the fact that 165, yeah, pretty good. Although this is pretty early on, D-. Gotta remember, the crowd is very much going back. If we go back to this a little bit. Sorry. We are looking at, I should just pause that honestly. We are looking at a C to D to D-. This is a very early iteration. And if I knew that firsthand, obviously my comments would definitely be a lot different. But we're kind of commenting on the spot. But it definitely does go to say that as much as you might dislike or like space, you definitely should try it. The biggest thing, I think the biggest hurdle of space is learning the movement. Of course, a lot of people, when they first play GBO2, they'll learn ground. Ground is the easiest by far to learn. But to really master GBO2, I think space is going to be the place to do it. Like I said, me personally, I dislike space just because you're dealing with the extra verticality, and then when you're off your game and you're not when you're playing lazy and you see somebody doing loop-de-loops around you, it's just, yeah. So I could see it being very discouraging, but for the most part, mechanically, from what I can see, Phoenix definitely has his combos down. And I think, yeah, there are definitely other games outside of GBO2. Space Sims is one of the points that was made. That could probably help you out with that space sort of ability. And I mean, like, being able to deal with that extra verticality, because you're not only dealing with stuff in front of you, below you, you're having to deal with basically 360 all around you. That's why it's very important, especially in a 4v4 format like we're seeing here, to be aware of where your team is as best as you're able to. That's why, for me, I usually look at numbers. I usually look at health bars, anything that gives me an advantage in this fight. And surprisingly enough, with 3 generals on the other team, you would think that, well, in a normal circumstance, they should have an advantage despite not having a raid. But as you can tell, the more aggressive team will win, and it's here. So with that said, thanks again to Phoenix for submitting this. If you guys have anything else you want me to check out, let me know in the comments or message me on Twitter. You guys can find my socials in the description below. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys all on the next video. Take care.